Well, we're recording.
Oh.
Oops.
Welcome to the Virtual House Sessions podcast. This is episode number March
7.
7th month of the year.
It's not the 7th month of the year.
According to our calendar, it is.
Our calendar started when we started the show, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's right.
Well, yes, like Sean said, welcome to the Virtual House Sessions, our for now monthly podcast where we'll talk about what's happening behind the scenes and we'll talk about community response things. We'll respond to the community and kind of just hang out and talk and vibe. As always, you can join us afterwards for a little show on Patreon if you are a supporter. It's $5 a month to be a Patreon supporter, and you get access to any of our bonus content as well as anything else that we post. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. If you can sort of see, we have different backgrounds again, and we've sort of talked about it on our Year of the Movie podcast, where you can also see the set more on that one. You can't really see it very much here. But yeah, it's a different... We just painted
We updated our
and put up
space.
different things.
Yeah.
It's got a glowing shelf now.
It
Yeah.
does have a glowing shelf. You can check that out on our other podcast.
Pretty cool.
It's got carpet squares on the walls that you can't see to try to deaden some noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's the wood paneling sound thing that
Mhm.
was like weirdly expensive.
Yeah.
Oops, I could have. Never mind. I could have cut it out, but it's not. It's.
You were busy.
I was busy.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that. But for now, just how's everyone doing? How's everyone been? Let's start with Sean.
We want to... Okay. Yeah, we'll start
We
with
can't
that.
do the same bit again.
What if we did a different one?
Okay, give me a different bit.
No, thanks. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm like I guess I'm like a Jedi Master now, so that's pretty cool. That's
Tight.
Yep.
So that's about it.
Sure.
Just a regular month then.
Yeah.
Yep. For our viewers, we're talking to Sean like last time on a little laptop on a counter, so we kind of have to kind of see him.
Still a better setup than it was before.
Technology-wise, yes.
View-wise, no.
View-wise, no, because we did have him on a big TV before, and that was nice.
Yeah.
But tech-wise, this is definitely much better. Bryce, how are you? How have you been?
I'm happy. I'm happier than a little clam in the ocean.
And we'll find out more why here in a
Famously.
little bit. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good.
Great.
If I plan this correctly, our boxes should be in a way that somewhat makes sense now.
We kind of look at each other.
We kind of look at each other.
Sick.
You not so much.
Great.
Like, especially, well, mainly when Bryce looks at you,
Yeah.
no, because you guys are up
Mm.
and below.
Should I be looking down or up?
Is this a Brady Bunch Square situation?
little
where
bit.
We should all just be like, wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Sean just looks straight ahead.
Yeah.
Into the distance,
I get
into the
that.
future.
In the white
Yeah.
void. He's in a white void in this one. Because when he fits in his TV, it really just sees the wall that he's
Yeah.
sitting in front of, which I think is very funny. So we're all in this like pretty nice set.
Mm-hmm. The
And then-
dark side, if you will.
Yeah, and then he's in a white void. Yeah.
Mhm.
The curtains that are behind me, they aren't usually like this, but I just threw a curtain over a C-stand so you didn't just see a C-stand and a blank wall behind me. But,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, Bryce, I said we would touch on it, but you and Sean both have to talk about it, so let's just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's, be concise.
And I want to know
Be fair.
his side
Mm-hmm. But,
Okay.
because I didn't. We'll get into
yeah,
it.
the two of you were at Indiana Comic-Con this past weekend
At the same time.
at the same time.
Yeah.
You didn't see each other.
I tried.
No text, no call.
Oh, well, same.
What was that trying? At least I'm not saying I tried.
Well,
He
like,
looked-
look,
He
look.
looked.
There's like, well, you've got to tell your bit first, and then
Now,
I'll-
to be fair, I am surprised you didn't see a very large, blocky, bald man with 6 arms roaming around. That is
Exactly.
the true achievement here.
Speaking of
That's-
which, I
that's
need
why I'm
I need to
surprised.
text Caleb.
Yeah. She told me to text you about filming that instructional video, and then I was like, just you have his number.
Yep.
But anyways, we went to Indiana Comic Con. Kay and I, my partner and I, we're building a cosplay of Kamaji the Boiler Man from Spirited Away. It's been months in the making. A lot of hardship, a lot of we found out a lot trial and error. I love trial and error. We found out that we are good at communicating, but we're not good at communication. There was one thing, like, we were able to talk and be open about everything, but there were many times where we had to explain the same thing 3 or 5 times.
You were both open to the process of communication, but it was the words not matching up.
Was not clicking.
Interesting.
Like, the ball and socket joint that held the arms
Yeah.
on her back. She made a really cool vest that the arms come out, but the things that she got to mount them were camera stands.
Yeah.
So it was ball and socket. Ball and
jacket? What did you say?
It's a jock strap for a ball and socket.
Oh, okay.
Really keeps it.
I thought it was like the ball and socket football player.
I'd root for his team. Well, actually, I kind of made the jock strap for this thing because though they weren't strong enough to hold these arms, because
I'll try to. If you send me a video or a
Yeah.
picture, I can put it on the screen.
Yeah.
So our video viewers
Have
have
context.
context.
Yeah.
we have a lot of the ball and socket joint specifically. Yeah, I'll send that to you. But it wasn't strong enough to hold up the arms when the arms are being stretched out.
Mhm.
So I just took 2 washers, put holes in them, put bolts through those, and just to really clamp it down tight. And so that would all work. I'm probably not even explaining it to you right now, but
It was a
yeah,
process.
that was one of the things. We made it able to drive small enough to fit into our car, just barely. Get it up to Comic-Con, and went to the whole day was just walking around, and we went up with 2 of our friends, and we were all surrounding this cosplay because it's a big wooden box. Like, we had the whole podium and everything, and getting through crowds in that thing, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I was in the front,
Did you
keeping people to the side.
was that a consideration when making the costume, or was it I'm making this costume, no one can stop me?
It was a fear.
Yeah.
It was an absolute fear because I knew that, like, if you're gonna make something this big, you have to show it off.
Mm.
Yeah.
But where you're showing it off is filled with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I feel like it's still more doable than some cosplays that I've seen where people are in like the giant suits or whatever, like they're
Yeah.
on stilts and it's
Yeah.
like boom, boom.
One of our biggest fears that we knew at the conception of this was doors.
Mm.
Like, we knew this
They're
could
very
not-
scary.
One of my biggest
Yeah,
fears
well,
were
Doors
doors.
are scary.
They're pretty scary when you're just barely too wide.
Mhm.
And we're like, okay, we don't know where they're gonna, because everything was laid out differently this year.
Mhm.
We don't know what doors we're gonna be going through. Hopefully, they're all double doors. Thankfully, they were.
Yeah.
The only issue we came across was the cosplay contest getting up the ramp.
Mhm.
We were a foot too wide to get off the ramp,
Mm.
only because of the handles.
Yeah.
I told the guy, hey, I have all of my hardware with me, all of my tools with me. Just take this thing off real quick. And
Yeah.
He's like, absolutely not. Fair. um, you're not the only one competing.
Yeah.
Totally fair. We went through that, and we got Best in Show,
Mhm.
Nice.
which was really awesome because a lot has gone into this.
Yeah.
Months have gone into this.
Yeah.
Months.
Hours.
I only cried once during the process.
Pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's
good.
not bad.
And then, but the funny thing about that is I didn't know how the award ceremony worked. So we start out with one of the judges coming by and saying, hey, let's double check this ramp thing. Checked it, couldn't work. Already off to kind of a rough start, but it's fine because there's curtains, we can throw them back and she can
Mhm.
Mhm.
waltz out. she just won't be on the stage. So we're like, okay, we go through. We're kind of stuck because we can't go behind the stage. The route that you take is you walk from stage left behind the stage, cross onto the stage from stage right, and then walk off. And then they had them walk through the curtain and then into the audience to the back. And I'm thinking, how the hell are we going to do this? Because there's a bit of room, I can kind of see it. And I keep asking the stage manager, who we've talked to a little bit at this point because this is kind of a thing. Make sure we're all on the same page. I'm like, okay, how do you want us to go back there? Like, where are we going to, are we going to take a beat so that she can, get through the crowds? Because we don't want to be distracting to the people. And she just kept giving me non-answers, and I started getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And then our friend Meredith, who was competing in the novice level, intermediate. What's the beginner? Novice. It was her first time competing. She went through, and then whenever she started coming back, she kept staying. And I was like, "What are you doing? You gotta go to the thing." But then her and Kay were getting excited, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then Kay goes out, does her thing, big applause, bring her back in, and I'm like trying to map out, okay, where are we going now? And they say, you're staying here, park it over here. Like, okay, they're just keeping us back here. That makes sense. And then Kay keeps getting even more excited. I'm like, what is going on? She's like, oh, if they keep you back here, that means you've won something. Like, oh, that makes sense. Really crappy to the other people coming off the stage.
Yeah.
Because, again, they are passing the people who are still staying there and being told to leave.
Yeah.
And, like, whenever we were looking up photos afterwards on Instagram, one of the girls who dressed up as Strawberry Shortcake, because I was going # Indiana Comic Con.
Yeah.
She made a post about that saying, it was my first time doing a cosplay contest. It was really fun. I really wish they didn't make it obvious that you didn't win anything after you get off the stage. I was like, fair.
Yeah.
But it all went well afterwards.
That's good.
Yeah. I just feel a lot of relief.
Yeah.
And I also spent a lot of money on magic cards. But Sean, how was your experience, and why didn't you come and see me?
Well, I mean, why didn't you come and see me? I don't know. I mean,
I was
Both
hauling
so
around.
available.
yeah, I know.
I was hauling around an old man.
I kept looking for the old man, and I don't know.
Big box.
Was it room 109? Was that where I was at?
500 was the competition.
Uh-oh, it froze.
The big one where Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson did their thing.
You guys probably passed each
room
other.
500?
Yeah, because the panel
I
that
went
you...
up and down that hall so many times, yeah.
Yeah.
We were in the food court right afterwards, so you might have been like waiting in line, because I know they kind of hold people.
Okay.
How easy is it to eat
Yeah,
that
yeah.
thing?
Oh, it's hard. I tried to get the thinnest thing, but I didn't think about getting the driest thing. So I got these greasy ass pretzels.
Yeah.
Left a big puddle on the ground, because she could like lift up the mustache and put it down. So it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But this is more just hauling around the whole podium. So same room that they had Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson of Star Wars fame. Rosario Dawson has done so many other things, but
Hey, Hayden Christensen was also in Jumper.
he was also in Goosebumps, like when he was a kid. Night of the Living Dummy 3. There's a really bad animation of his head on a swivel.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Anyways, me and our friend Danielle, who also placed, really Bloomington gang just swept the awards. But we were standing backstage and looking around. There's water bottles and little things for the celebrities, and she was like, "Will they get mad if I take a water?" This is a mom who's been dealing with mom things all day and doing a cosplay thing. I was just like, I don't think Hayden Christensen needs 18 bottles of water. I think you'll be fine.
So, Sean, did he complain about not having water?
He said something like, I thought there were supposed to be 18 bottles of water, and
Well, he
everybody just
shouldn't-
freaked out, and, it was a mob.
He shouldn't have been 15 minutes late.
But do you know why he was 15 minutes late? Sean?
Nice, man.
He was drinking 17 bottles of water and he couldn't find the 18th.
He couldn't get his 18. Oh man.
So Sean, tell us what your Indiana Comic-Con experience was.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Well, first off, and in all seriousness, that I saw pictures and videos of the cosplay. It's very cool. I wish I could have seen it, but for whatever reason, fate did not align in that way.
It's a
But-
big area.
Yeah, it was surprisingly big. They said it was like 30,000 people or something were there,
And
and
it felt smaller than last year, but it was still pretty big.
okay, I didn't get to go last year. You went for it was the Clone Wars folks, right?
Yeah, last year we did Duchess Satine and Obi-Wan.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. This year I did the more just like seeing the fun people route myself. I didn't have any cause stress to worry about. You know,
Did you do the Jedi
but-
Lightsaber Academy?
I didn't. I did like the photos with Hayden Christensen, who was Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader and
You're the one
the
who
Star
held him
Wars.
At
I could have
gunpoint.
been. I don't know.
Yeah, Sean held Hayden.
Hey, Hayden was on the phone. Hey guys,
I'm gonna get the picture.
I'm gonna be 15 minutes late.
This
I
guy's
did slow
holding
him
me
up
but he's
maybe
being
like 3
reasonable on
seconds because I had a slightly more complicated photo op request where I held my master's degree with him and asked if he would grant me the rank of master for this master's degree, and he was game. So that's why I'm a Jedi Master now. That's why I'm still wearing these robes because you take them off and you're not a Jedi Master
time.
anymore.
Legally, yeah.
Well, that's what happened to Yoda in Episode 3. He fell and he was like, robe was on the pike. He's like, oh, I've lost. Gotta go home. Bail Organa drove him.
That's why.
Jedi Masters
That's the
must
rules.
be so stinky.
Well, Obi-Wan, I mean, he's trying to be in hiding, but he's like, I can't take it off. So, like, all the way to Episode 4, he's like, them's the rules.
Yeah.
If I want to be a Jedi Master, I gotta keep these robes on.
They said that
So
meant to
that's-
Tatooine.
They did,
There's
yeah.
rank under those.
Do you think
Yeah.
when Yoda got into his little pod and flew away after he was like goodbye Tarful, goodbye Chewbacca, and then he got in and then the Wookiees, they yell or whatever, do you think they're saying something along the lines of, "Hey sucker, you're not a master anymore"? Do you think it's something like that?
I mean, it could have been. It very well could have been. But I think he still had his clothes on at that
Oh,
point.
he had the robes at that point? Okay.
Yeah, it was when Bail Organa drove him home from the Senate, and he's like, I'm just too exhausted to drive, Bail. You got to pick me up. He was like, yeah, I get you.
That's right.
It was such a big deal. Like that's why, whenever he fell, and Emperor Palpatine's like, oh, he's gone. He must be dead. Like no Jedi's just gonna leave their robes because they're just not a Jedi anymore.
So then Tarful and Chewbacca probably were like, "We really respect you as a Jedi Master."
They were. They definitely
Okay.
were. That was
because you
definitely
have
what
your
they-
robes.
Because you have your robes and no other reason.
And that was all just said in the.
Also, maybe
Yeah.
stay and help so our planet doesn't get and species doesn't get enslaved.
And then Yoda's like, "Sorry, can't hear you, Tarful."
Phew, and Chewbacca standing there. Man, I hope I meet a scruffy guy in a pit. My best friend.
Dreams really do come true.
Yeah, one way or another.
Well, speaking of conventions in Indianapolis,
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis PopCon is a convention that we've been to before. It played The Armor. It played Hello, My Name is Friendman, both short films that we have made.
Gave us an award for Friend Man.
Gave us an award for Friendman, a nomination for The Armor for Bryce, for best beautiful
hero?
boy.
They've done it again.
They've done it again. They've taken another one of our projects.
And they said, sure.
Yeah. Well, so they've taken a video that we made, which you can find on just the Virtual Cocktail channel when we've talked about it on this podcast of the Loveland Frog people. But we're also going to be doing a live recording of our Year of the Movie podcast at the convention. So that's April 27th from 12 to 12:50 p.m. So if you want to come support us, go and watch us live. We're going to be talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And the sequel just came out, apparently.
So perfect timing on our part.
Wait, the film sequel or just announcement that hey, there's a sequel?
The film sequel just came out.
So we're behind.
We're behind. So in a month, you'll hear us talk about the first one from 2023.
Because we're on the trends.
I'm not gonna watch this. I am gonna have a lot of opinions about just the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. If you want to meet us, if we have any viewers of the show who don't already know us,
Yeah. If we don't know you in real life or like follow us on Instagram, you're like, I think I went to high school with one of them.
Yeah. Then you can go to the live recording and
Yeah.
whatever.
This is a thing that we are both excited about, and also like
We know that this isn't.
This is a little bit silly.
Yeah, we know how small we are. We see our analytics.
Yeah.
Like,
What happened was, they said we are open to podcast submissions, and we said, wouldn't it be silly if they said yes?
they did not say yes to this one,
They did not,
which is a little bit of a bummer.
but it's understandable because again, we know our analytics.
Yep. So yeah,
Did they take that into account when they say yes or no?
I don't know.
I don't know. I truly don't. I mean, it's not like they see our analytics.
Oh, you didn't have to say, hey, we have this many.
No, we submitted like it was like a description, who's on it, and then a 5-minute clip of like what you consider to be the best part of your
Gotcha.
podcast.
Is this going to be in one of the side conference rooms, or is it going to be? Because I remember in Gen Con they had podcasts on the floor, which I still don't know how that works.
No, this is like it gets its own room.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. All four of us will be there.
It might just be 3 of us on the
3 of us on the pod.
Yeah.
Sean will hopefully be filming it so that we can still have a video element, because I don't think they do a video element. But yeah. Another thing that we've made is a show that Bryce hosts called The Place to Go, and it's sort of a travel show / bathroom review show. We made that in partnership with our client, Jolly Plumbing, but it really is like a show that we produce. They just told us to do it.
They are the
Like
the
we
sponsor.
pitched it.
yeah.
They're like, yeah, do it.
I feel like it's the project that like we do a lot for them, but like we make a lot of content for them, and this is a thing that like
It's for us.
it's for us and they are a sponsor for.
Yep.
Basically, is how it's working out.
Yeah, but the first episode is out now. I'll try to remember to put the link in the bio for YouTube.
Otherwise, you can find it on the Third Rule Media website and channel and Instagram and whatever.
Yeah, or the Jolly Plumbing YouTube.
Yeah, it's all linked
Yeah.
back to the same place.
But yeah, that's something that we did that's pretty fun. We did it at a restaurant that we loved. It's like a 6-minute video. Like it's definitely a pilot for a show, and like it's a web series, so it's never really gonna be that long.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying to think like, what if this got picked up and we needed to make it like a 30-minute
Oh, I've thought about
a
it.
20-minute thing? Like how would we do that? Would we just do 2 different locations in one thing, like they do on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, like that kind of thing? Or
Yeah.
would we like give more of a history for each location?
I was thinking that of like more about like the specific area, because it's the framing of the show is we review bathrooms at different places. It's mostly just like highlighting local businesses. But we're saying it's like in the greater Cincinnati area, so that can extend pretty far.
Yeah.
So I've thought about it of like if we go to like a different suburb or neighborhood or a town in northern Kentucky, then
Yeah.
like we give more context for that town.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would definitely make shoots longer.
Yes.
Because something that's really fun about these is that we've shot 3 so far.
Mm-hmm.
The longest shoot was maybe 3 hours.
Yeah.
So like,
Which is pretty good.
yeah, that was
Mhm.
like we get these done real quick.
Yeah.
But I also think it still looks really nice.
Mhm.
Again, the one that's out right now is like the pilot, and so I don't think it's
The
as
format changes
nice.
slightly.
Yeah, like we changed the format a little, and then I think we put a lot more thought and care just into the interview in terms of production, just like.
It was also a space thing.
And it was also, yeah, like if you watch the first episode, you'll see how small the business is.
Yeah.
And our second and third episodes are much bigger.
Yeah. So we just like had space to set up lights. So that
Yeah.
was a big part of it. The other thing is like we're friends with the people at the restaurant, so it was a pretty chill like, hey, can you be our guinea pig?
Yeah.
So we figure out the format for this. And they were very nice about it, which we appreciate.
And we might still do a commercial for them at some point, because we were talking about that at some point, but they
Mhm.
just were very busy. But recently, they were kind of talking about wanting to make a commercial.
Mhm.
And then, because like one of the owners was talking to us, and she was like, other partner, husband,
Mhm.
wants to do a commercial, and he was pitching these ideas, and he's like, and we have people right behind us who can make it for us.
That's us.
That's us. So like I'm glad that like they're,
We're on their radar.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the place to go. I'm really proud of it.
Mhm.
Like this is, I feel like what we want to do.
As far as like commercial client projects go, like the stuff that we
Yeah.
do, again,
But even, like,
is
just-
fun, but it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
it's
like
a more
creative
involved
side too, like this type of show, like this is the kind of what like I loved doing most when we both worked at PBS
Mhm.
or whatever, like doing the travel show.
Yeah.
Like I love this kind of content because it's easy and fun and informative, and you get to see and do cool things.
I like the niche element of stuff like that, of like you find out very specific stories about very specific locations.
Yeah.
Bathrooms are a pretty specific focus.
Yeah. And I feel like this is just like the first, I don't know. I don't want to say real, because like what we're doing here is still real and
Mhm.
whatever, but like it's like our first like production, like consistent production that I feel like that we've really built ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and that's special to me.
It's fun.
And it's fun.
I think we do it tastefully too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it's a highlighting local business where we tastefully linger on the bathroom for just a little bit longer than you'd expect. So that's how I see it.
It's a goofy thing that we take seriously, and I think that
Yeah.
comes across in the edits so far.
Yeah. Well, I've on the last 2 that we did, I started prefacing to the people who are with us, hey, I'm not actually that into bathrooms.
Mhm. It's
Spoiler
just-
alert.
When the camera's on,
It's just because with Tuba, I know you two are really good friends with him.
Mhm.
That was my first time meeting him,
oh yeah.
and I didn't tell him anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. There's something in the way that he looked at me that he was like, "Oh, you're serious?" I just tried to be like, "No, not really."
Yeah, that's fair. There are definitely things that like I think we got to work on, that I think we're just learning, because it's just like,
Yeah.
we haven't had to do the, I don't know, like the schmoozing side.
There's a lot of networking that is involved with this, because there's a lot of people that like, besides the first episode, which is with people that we are friends with,
Yeah.
and the second one, which is with a person that we are friends with,
Yeah.
then like yeah, there's a lot of the more public facing producing aspect that
Yeah.
makes it makes it feel like a bigger, or like more professional isn't the right word, but like
Mm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's some not stress element, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever word is in the middle of all of those words, and that's the one that I'm thinking of.
And Sean, you were obviously in a different city,
That's right.
so you were just seeing the show as a viewer.
I am your viewer. You're one of your viewers.
It's really, really picking up.
One.
This is like the second time that you you said something on one of these podcasts that are like putting
It's
us
not
down.
intentional. It's just
And I
thought
know you
about
don't
as,
mean
like,
it, but it is
it's a
so
singular.
funny.
I'm a singular person.
The review are in.
And I
Uh,
belong to you.
what do you, our viewer, think of the first episode?
Yeah, any notes?
Yeah, I liked it. Bathrooms aren't my thing.
Sure.
Like going into it, I'm like, do I really want to look at a toilet? You know? But it was like Bryce said, it was done tastefully. It wasn't like you're actually gonna try this bathroom out uh, today. We're just gonna look at it and imagine what would have happened, and I think the imagination keeps it more tasteful.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it helps that it looked like a clean establishment. Like if you're going to like, I don't know, a park restroom or something, you're not level of cleanliness that you're really gonna want as a viewer of the show.
Well, that's actually one of the interesting things for me. This is the one thing that I am seriously gets to me is like the cleanliness of the bathrooms that we go into.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
because it's like, some people like local business are wanting to keep it tight, make it look nice,
Mm-hmm.
spruce it up. But then I thought that's kind of how the vibe was going to be for the rest of the time we did this.
Yeah.
But then you get to the next place that we did, which is a newer place. So everything's already new.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, okay, this is hyper clean, but you can kind of tell what kind of clean it is.
Yeah.
And then the third place we went to, very public place, still rather clean,
Yeah.
but it was just like different kinds of clean.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. You have to watch it to really understand it.
And
But
there was a toilet in one of the bathrooms that we reviewed. I'm not going to say which one. That still had stuff in it.
Yeah.
It is cut
That
from
was
the episode. You don't see
good.
it at all. But I would imagine that is something that we will have to continue
Yeah.
to experience and deal with.
I think it's going to depend on the size of the place,
Yeah.
of like whether or not, how much are we on their radar of like, oh boy, we got to go
Yeah.
clean that toilet before the crew gets here.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then there's no way that the dude's ever gonna watch it, but I want to give a special shout out to Curtis, the security guard at the Contemporary Arts Center,
We appreciate Curtis.
because he stayed late for us, which was very nice. It was an hour late. We were out of there.
We were an hour past closing,
Yeah,
or a little bit after, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Curtis.
Yeah.
There it is.
Thanks.
Who's that lady that was?
Trisha?
Mhm.
I don't know Trisha.
Huh.
I don't
She
know her official title, but she's attached with like the media and their marketing
yeah.
things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause, whenever we showed up, I was like, oh, am I interviewing both of them?
No,
They're like, no,
I
just
had,
Sean.
I had just emailed back and forth with her to set up the stuff, and then Sean texted us the day before, and he was like, "So you're interviewing me tomorrow?" So I think he was just around to be the body on camera,
Yeah.
which worked out because like he's got a good sense of humor for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And for reference, this is a different Sean.
Sean Braley,
Yes.
who is a friend of ours. He's been on 2 episodes of the Year of the Movie podcast. We work with him at the comedy club.
We're just yeah.
Yeah.
He's around.
He's a fun guy.
Yep.
He is.
Well, go check out the place to go. We're gonna keep moving on in this episode. Fun little thing that I just wanted to note, because I don't think it happened in the last episode, but we have a new camera.
We do. It didn't happen yet.
Yeah, so that's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't quite gotten to like super play with it because I need a monitor, and it only takes SDI, so I have to get kind of a nicer monitor, and that's a bit pricey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of waiting for that.
But with $5 a month.
But with $5 a month, yeah. So like we have a new camera, and that's cool. we're not using it right now. You're not seeing it. We're still using the Blackmagic ecosystem, and we're probably going to keep using the Blackmagic ecosystem for most of what we do. If you are just a viewer of this channel, you will never see footage, I would assume, unless we do like a behind the scenes video.
Yeah.
But it would be weird for it to be on this channel and not the other one.
Yeah.
You'll probably not see the footage. So if you want to see footage of that eventually, go to our main channel, just Virtual Cocktail. But I think we'll probably use that for short films, like primarily short films, and it'll be the A cam, and then the Blackmagic 6K will be a B cam, which is fun that we can do that. It's pretty nice. But yeah, it's nice because I feel like we are.
It's a step up.
We are progressing.
Yeah.
It maybe isn't as fast as I would like it, just because I'm impatient and I want to do bigger and cooler things immediately. But it is nice to be going forward.
Yeah.
I today have been watching videos of people making low budget sci-fi sets and like interior of spaceships. So now that's what I want to do.
There's
So let's do that.
a short film. It's a Blade Runner parody. Taste of Something, maybe. Nathan showed it to me. But they filmed that most of the in their home, and it's very elaborate.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. So that's something that I want to do now.
Yeah.
Writing a little short sci-fi film.
Which is a thing that we had talked about doing at various points.
Yeah. I just think we now have a talent pool.
We have the ability to make it a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of space,
The Final Frontier.
my dad wants us to talk about physics and black holes.
Oh yeah.
He said, you guys don't talk about physics and black holes, so I don't care about your podcast. So this is for you, Dad. We're talking about physics and black holes, and we have a resident physicist. Sean, you have a physics degree or two.
I have one.
I said or.
Yes,
I give
you're
you
correct.
options.
You're correct. You're correct.
And you've studied a black hole.
Huh?
And
Yep. So let's talk physics and black holes. What is a black hole? Let's start basic.
Okay. Well, from a Jedi Master's viewpoint, if you're flying your ship, and you want to equate that to cars on a road, a star is like a pothole, and a black hole is like a sinkhole. You can drive over a pothole, you'll be okay, but you drive over a sinkhole, you're sunk. So that's kind of at the core of black holes. They're these things that sort of in the wider physics community, they draw you in, and once you get into a certain distance of them, called the Schwarzschild radius, at least by sort of the most wide physics beliefs, then you can't escape that black hole. You're sunk.
and spaghettified.
Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah,
So that's for you, Pops.
I got some more if you want.
Oh yeah,
Or
keep it
we
coming.
could just stop there.
No, keep it coming.
Why did I do this to myself?
So you're saying you can have space battleship if black holes sink your ship?
That's right. That's right. Except there's some other theories from just a more mathematical standpoint. Like most of the days I spend my time in math land rather than physics land or even Jedi Master land. I'd like to spend more time in Jedi Master land, but
Yeah.
I spend a lot of it in math land. And in math land, there's this theory of black holes, and it's not the physicists don't like it. They're pretty peeved about it. But it's this idea that this Schwarzschild radius, where in physics land you would say, okay, you can get sucked into that, and then once you're inside that radius, you're stuck in there. In math land, there's this theory that this boundary, sort of this sphere, which is made out of this Schwarzschild radius, um, is something that you can neither go in nor out. So it's a fairly different thought about black holes, because a lot of times you think of them as things that you get pulled into, and then you just get stuck inside, and then you're probably dead. But in Mathland, there's this other theory that you just can't ever actually even go into them, let alone anything get out.
So it's just there's like a barrier between stuff, but then it's still the gravity still impacts around it.
That's the theory, at least. It's not a very widely accepted one, but it is well detailed, and I know the guy who came up with it, and the physicist at a conference, as he said something to the extent of, "I don't see anything wrong with this, but I either just don't like it or I just don't accept it to be true." So yeah. That's black
Glad
holes.
we learned more about the likes and dislikes of physicists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe next episode we'll come back with a little bit more
Okay.
to keep our scientific minds
Sharp.
sharp.
I was
Mine's
up till
dull.
Smooth.
I was up till about 7:30 a.m. Today, so that's I'm working on half a brain.
Yeah, yeah. I woke up at 6 and was texting you, and you were
Yeah.
like... So moving on.
It's called Slice of Life,
Nice.
the short film.
Oh, I was watching some of their stuff today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I hadn't gotten far back enough to actually watch the Blade Runner run. They made a more recent one about like the Apollo 11
I have to check it out.
launch. Yeah, no, Slice of Life is cool. We're gonna kind of quickly go through these because we've been talking for a little while. What else have we been doing? You had a birthday.
I did.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
We saw Joe Pera.
We did.
He was good.
Yeah,
Anything else from you, Bryce?
Got your Reese's.
you did.
Yep.
There's so many Reese's at our house.
Listen, I asked
Well, ice cream
Sebastian.
cake. I'm gonna eat so much of it.
I know.
I asked Sebastian, I was like, what can we bring for birthday? And you said,
I said cookies or Reese's
Mhm.
because I asked you,
You
and
did.
you were like, they don't need to bring anything, and
They
I was like, it's your GD birthday.
We already got donuts
bringing
and
something.
Indian food.
We're bringing something,
We have leftover Indian food.
Yes, we do.
Hell yeah.
Brad. So we went to the store. Kay ran off and grabbed a cake. I went and grabbed like 3 different kinds of Reese's.
Mhm.
Popped off.
Hell yeah. Those are
Sean,
good boys.
what else have you been doing?
Oh, I got some more garlic bread. I ran out, so I needed some more.
That was last
Uh,
episode's bit.
It's just life,
Continuity.
man.
Garlic bread doesn't stop at the bit.
Once the
Garlic bread
garlic
is
bread
life.
runs out, you gotta refill.
Yup.
Yeah.
All right. Things coming out. The year of the movie.
Mhm.
This.
Yeah.
The next episode of this. Won't be much different. The episode after that, the May episode. Sean will be here in person, so
Wow.
we'll record our first episode where all 4 of us
We meet for the first time.
meet for the first time. So that'll be fun. Other things, maybe we play a board game.
Keep saying.
Maybe we bring out the board game show
Maybe.
because we have this set, but we also have access to another set
Mhm.
that I think will look very nice for the board game show.
Yes.
So that would be fun. We played a board game yesterday that I think would be very fun for
Mhm.
the show.
I think stuff like that, and I've been trying to, and we've been talking about it for who knows how long, but doing the RPG show and I kind of got too far in my head about it and made it too much.
Mhm.
I think it'd be good to just do one shots.
Yeah.
Do it.
And with the Lego set coming out,
Yeah, we could do
maybe
the
Lego set.
Lego one shot would be good content.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll ride the backs of Lego.
We can pair that with the other Lego board game.
Yeah, we just do Lego branded content.
There we go. Sponsor us,
Yeah.
please.
All right. Other things coming out. More places to go will come out.
It's monthly right now.
It's monthly right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell us if you have bathrooms in the Cincinnati area.
yeah. We are working on many pre-productions for films and other
Yeah.
narrative
The
things.
thing is, right now, time.
Time.
We don't have it.
Yeah.
So we're working on things a little bit at a time when
Yep.
we can. So
We're trying to get more time,
yeah.
but we're also adding more things.
Yeah.
So it's a battle.
Yeah.
But community response.
Mhm.
We've don't have much. The community has really died down.
No Josh?
No.
Mm.
But You're the Movie Podcast, episode 25, National Lampoon's Christmas Staycation, where we talked about the holdovers. Our other viewer, Paul Monge, left a comment. And this was the episode where we were in between the previous set and this one.
Oh, we had our best set ever.
And so we had the best set ever, where the background, where we hung a kid's rug that had like the town map on it or whatever. So Paul Monge asks, could the train be under a tarp just south of the Ferris wheel? It might be a tunnel or a mountain or something, but looking at the scale, it doesn't seem like it. I'll tell Paul Monge. I did mention that in the video. So.
Huh. Should we just chase this viewer away? That way, we don't have to deal with any more viewers.
Yeah, and we don't have to do any community response section.
Yeah.
It really frees us up.
Yeah. Becomes more of a Q&A between
Yep.
us and Sean.
And then
Wait, God intended.
Paul Monge replied to their own comment
Mm-hmm.
asking, would you mind explaining how this film is The Goonies? So The Holdovers is The Goonies because it takes some outcasts and brings them together, and they go on an adventure to a different place.
There were a group of boys or kids who
Mhm.
had an adventure.
Mhm.
The Holdovers just doesn't follow them
Yeah.
because they fly off in a
yeah.
helicopter. And
Oh.
also, rich people are the worst in the Goonies and the Holdovers.
Yeah, and there's conflict in both of them. So,
Every movie is Goonies.
every movie is Goonies. If you want context on that, you can watch our You're the Movie podcast episode about they cloned Tyrone. What is that episode called? Attack of the
Attack of the
Clones.
Attack the Clones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might be doing a disservice to ourselves by not using the movie title in our episode titles, but I like doing the fun creative titles.
There are hashtags.
Yep.
It's fine.
We said we would do a continuous update. We're out of community response.
We made it.
A continuous update on Charlotte the Stingray. Our update is we're still waiting. Still pregnant.
Still pregnant?
Still
It was supposed to
pregnant.
be sooner.
They were basically like, yeah, we don't really know exactly when it's gonna happen because this is such a different type of pregnancy.
Yeah.
We know nothing.
Excellent.
So we're still waiting.
Mhm.
At the time of recording, so who knows? Maybe by the time the episode's out.
We get a call and we all rush to the hospital.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, except for game time. We're on to our game time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the timing is right. I can't see how long we've been recording, so let's just do game time.
Okay.
Do you want to know?
Sure.
55 minutes. Ish.
Yeah, that's good.
Mhm.
Today's game, not news jokes. Wow. So what I've gathered for you today is several movie descriptions that are, those terrible movie descriptions that are like, this, I guess it's true, but it's like not really how you would describe the movie. And you guys get a guess.
Okay.
I've just Googled and found them. So it's a little bit of a guessing game.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. A paranoid billionaire is afraid of an immigrant.
Oh, that's so many.
Yeah.
The Goonies.
I'll give you a hint. None of these are the Goonies, but all of them are the Goonies.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, do you have a guess?
Oh, it's Superman.
Sean, do you have a guess?
Sorry.
Elf.
It's not Elf. So which?
That would be. Oh. Oh, is that Batman v Superman?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Wow.
I was trying to remember the So that's the original one with original Lex Luthor. That's just Superman, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one's Batman v Superman. If you needed another hint, I would have said, but then they bonded because their mom shares the same name.
Oh.
Okay, let's do another one.
Mhm.
A questionably sane psychiatrist takes on a patient with a vision problem.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. I liked that one.
Yeah.
A troubled boy dreams about getting his first firearm and what he'll do to anyone that crosses him.
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
Okay.
I felt like I should have announced it instead of.
A wisecracking boiler technician teaches high school students to believe in their dreams.
Spirited Away.
Nope.
It's a Karate Kid.
No.
Oh.
Can you say it again?
A wisecracking. So this one, I haven't seen this movie. I
Okay.
just pulled this description from the internet. A wisecracking boiler technician teaches high school students to believe in their dreams. Dreams.
Field of?
Sean?
The Matrix.
Nope. Dreams.
Oh, Inception.
No.
Mm.
Bryce?
Spy Kids.
No.
Uh,
A wisecracking boiler technician with a really cool striped sweater.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh.
There we go.
I've got
I don't remember him talking a lot.
3 more. It
Does he
doesn't.
crack wise?
Just remember the arms.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. A high schooler is torn between bestiality and necrophilia.
Oh,
Yeah.
You want it?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, Twilight.
I didn't catch on until you said one. What we were gonna do?
I know what it is, but you say it first.
Okay. A group spends 9 hours or more returning jewelry,
Or more?
depending on the cut. Sean,
127 hours.
no.
Okay.
Bryce.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
I mean,
127 hours?
A wildly different plot, but it
It
is.
took time.
over
It took
9
time.
hours.
he
Yeah.
was married, correct?
Not at the time.
Oh.
He got married later.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, and our final one, Hamlet. Bryce.
Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a good one.
I just got really excited.
Mhm.
So that's March's episode.
Yes.
This one's for you, Dad. That's the title,
Nice.
so that my dad watches it.
Nice.
Welcome, Dad.
Sean, say another science fact.
Science is often described as a process of I got nothing.
It is often described as a process.
Sometimes in science, having nothing actually is something, because you'll often start with a question and you'll try to find an answer, and sometimes you'll just find out that the question was wrong in the first place, and that is knowledge.
Makes you think.
So with that, we will see you next month, and check out our Patreon for our March bonus episode.